Hey guys, Crypto Dad here again, and today I'm going to do a video on how to cryptographically verify your software downloads. So let's get going. When I first started my channel, that was one of the first videos I did, was how to verify software downloads cryptographically. I did two of them, and I'm not real happy with them. They are getting quite a few hits, but they're a little long and involved and not really to the point. So I decided today to sort of do a revamp and walk you through this process. For those of you who are enjoying my videos on cryptocurrency and encryption, I thought that this would be a good time to sort of get a good redo of this video. So let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we need to know, I'm going to explain to you how to verify software downloads, making certain that you have a good and true copy of the installer before you put it on your computer, before you put your computer at risk by running it. A lot of people tell me that it's an unneeded step, and I see a lot of people on YouTube showing people how to download and install software, and they completely skip over this step. But I feel it's very important, and I want to explain to you why it's important and how it works. Okay, so there's three types of verification. There are SHASUM checkers, which is the first and I guess simplest type. And then the next type is signing files, and you'll see a lot of websites where you go to download something, and next to the installer is another little link next to it that is a signing file of some kind. So the first and simplest type is the Sha Sum checker. So what you need to do is download the Sha Sum checking software. You open an installer file with the checking software. And then once you open that with the Sha Sum checker, it generates a hash. It generates several types of hashes. And then you compare that hash to the one that's been provided on the website. So the website will have an installer, and then it'll have a hash, a cryptographic hash next to it. And that's the one that you're going to be comparing your generated hash to. And I'm going to take you through this. Here's the MD5 Checksum Utility. I'm going to put a link down in the description for this. Okay, so you can just download it here. Pretty nice little piece of something. Ah, there it goes. So I went, okay, so now you want to save this file somewhere. I already have a folder for it. I'm just going to click save here. Okay. All right, there it is at the top. Okay, and this basically is just a run file. It runs, and that's what it should look like. That sort of green on the top, yellow on the bottom. I have it in a folder already, and it's ready to go. Okay, so the first thing we'll need to do is download the GnuPG software. In today's case, we're going to use the Windows version, which is GPG for Windows. Once we get that downloaded, we're going to need to verify it with a SHASUM. And after we've verified it with the SHASUM, we'll install it. Here we go. We'll download GPG for Windows. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to skip the donation at this point. All right, and then the file is going to pop up here. We'll hit save. Remember, in your Firefox settings, choose always ask where to save files so that you get a download dialog rather than it just dropping it into your downloads folder. So we're just going to click save file. I'm going to go over here to my software folder. I'm going to choose new folder, which is GPG for Win. Drop this guy down into that folder, and we can go over here and we'll open this guy up. Okay, So first of all, we need to look over here. It's going to, it says check integrity. In the check integrity, they give us some of these SHA checksums. Okay, this is our SHA checksum. This is the one that we're going to be comparing. There it is, GPG for win. That is the SHASUM that I want to see when I generate mine. Right? I'm going to go ahead and copy it into my folder. So we're going to launch our MD5 SHASUM checker. This is what it looks like. We're going to click Browse. And we're going to go over to our software folder and go to GPG for Windows. And we're going to open up this installer. We're going to hit Open. And you see it just generated all of those hashes for me. This 256 is the one I'm interested in. We can eyeball it if we look up there, and we can see that it looks very similar. Starts with an F, ends with an F. But the one that we copied this into our clipboard, so let's just paste it here. Click Verify, and that says that the SHA matched. So that means we got a good file. We downloaded a file, and it matches the SHA that they generated on their end, so we know we got a good copy of the file. All right, so now we're just going to install the software. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and install the GPG for Windows. Just double click here. I like to tick GPA. I like to use GPA. I'm going to take it off my taskbar here. Okay, so we just click Next. Okay, and we'll go ahead and let this install into the default location. Now this is the software that we're going to need in order to verify our downloads. Okay, and it looks like it's done. It wants me to reboot. I will reboot later. In fact, I'll probably go ahead and do the reboot and then just pick up this video where it left off. And then the next type, there's a signature file, and we're going to need to download the installer. Then there's a signature file next to it. You'll download that. And then before you can run the verification, you're going to need to add the developer signing key to your key ring. And that can be done in a couple of different ways. Sometimes it can be downloaded directly into your key manager over the internet, and then other times you actually download that signing key to your computer and do an import into your key ring. And I'll explain what that's all. And then once you've got that done, you're going to run verification on the file. Okay, so now that we have everything tidied up, let's go ahead and launch our GPG for our GPA software. It's our front end. We're not going to generate the key right now. We don't need it for what we're doing. This is the key manager that we're going to use to manage all the keys for all the developer signing files that we download. So I'm just going to leave this up here for now. And we'll go over here to our browser. Now the first piece of software that I'd like to show you how to verify is the Tor project. One of the first pieces of software that I ran across that brought me into this whole verification process. So we're going to download, the first step is to get the installer. So we'll click this installer here and choose Save File. And then we're going to go over here to our software folder. We're going to click New Folder and call this one Tor. Let's get into the folder here and we'll download the installer. Okay, after we've downloaded the installer, we can use this little icon up here to check. There, we've got it. Now we need this signature file. That's step 2 in the process that I outlined. Signature file. If we click on it, it takes us over to this ciphertext. We could cut and paste that into a new text file, but it's much easier to just right-click and choose Save Link As. Okay, and it'll take us to that folder that we just had open. We'll click Save. And then you'll notice now that we've got the installer and the signing file right next to each other. Now we need to get that the developer signing key into our key ring. So we'll click on What's This, do a little detective work, and find out where that developer signing key is. Scroll down here to the signing keys. And I want the Tor Browser developers. This is the key ID for their signing key. I'm just going to copy that and go back over here to my key manager. And we're going to go to Server, Retrieve Keys, and paste that little key ID in there. We'll click OK. And we'll wait patiently for it to download from the internet. And as you can see, there it is. We've got it downloaded into our keyring. Okay, now that we've got that developer signing key downloaded, we can check this fingerprint that got generated. When we highlight the key, we see the fingerprint here. And we're just going to make sure it's the same fingerprint that is on the Tor Browser developer page. Okay, so this is where we got the key ID, but let's scroll down here a little more where it says Tor Browser developers. That key ID is up here somewhere. I think there's a longer version of it up here, but this is the fingerprint that they want us to double check. And if we go to our GPA software, we can see that it is in fact the same one. EF6E286D, DA85EA2A, blah 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 blah, all the way down to the 8290. So we have a reasonable, we can make a reasonable assumption that this is in fact the Tor Browser developer signing key. Now that we have that key in our keyring, we can run the verification process. So let's go back up here to our folder, and I'm going to use the command line, and let me just show you very quickly. If I right click on this, there is a tool that I can use that will verify, but what I get when I run that tool is a key not valid message, okay, and that's not really what I'm after. See, what I get when I hold down the shift key and shift click and choose open PowerShell window here, when I use the command line, I get a much more meaningful message. And so let's do a quick dir, and we're going to run GPG -- version first, just to verify that we have the software installed on our computer that I ran you through. If you don't get this, then you might need to make sure that you've got it installed. All right, and then we're going to run a GPG verify, and that's a -- verify. And there are two parameters to this command. One is the ASC file, which we're going to choose Control C, and then I'm going to go back over here and do a Control Paste. All right, and that pastes the name of the file there. Now I also need the name of the installer, which is exactly the same except for that extension. So I'm just going to hit space and do Control V again and paste, and then just erase that. Okay, so that is our command line. Let's hit enter, and you'll see there that I have a good signature from the Tor Browser developers. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Now the warning is just telling me that there is no indication that the signature belongs to the owner, and the only reasonable, foolproof way to know that that signature belongs to the owner is to talk to the owner himself and get his fingerprint, so that when you go home and download, you can check the fingerprint. But we check the fingerprint on the website, which is reasonable enough for us, so we know we've got a good copy of the Tor software, and we can run the install. So that's how it goes, guys. And then there's also websites where they do kind of a combination of both, which they'll have a cryptographically signed text file that needs to be verified, and then once it's verified, inside that file are hashes that you can use to do SHASUM checks. So that's kind of a little bit of a complicated case, and I have lots of videos on how this works. Let's go over to one more before we sign off here, and let's try. There's one where they actually download it to the computer, and I think it's this one. Alright, so we're going to go to the Bitcoin Core page, get started with Bitcoin, choose your wallet, we're going to do Bitcoin Core. Yeah. Okay, so the installer file, I click. Right, okay, so it takes me over here to Windows. I want the Windows 64-bit installer. That's funny. So I've done this before, as you can see, but I'm going to create a new folder. We'll call this New Bitcoin. just so you can see what the empty folder looks like. Okay, we'll put this down in here. And we're going to click Save. And then now we need to get the release signatures. The signing keys. Okay, so the release signature, let's see, it goes over to this. Okay, yeah, this is one that's kind of that combo. So we're going to save that guy here, right next to the file that we just downloaded. Okay, and then I'm going to click this one. That is going to, that's also going to be a save. And as you can see, that is a ASC file that's actually going to just save itself on my computer, right? So this is a good exercise. So let's open up the folder. Oh, it's still coming down here. Looks like it landed safely. Okay. All right, so now what we've got here are several files. We've got this installer. We've got these the developer signing key here as a file on our computer. And then we have this crazy SHASUM file. And let's open this guy up, put it that way. So what I'm going to do is open with WordPad so I can see what's in here. Okay, so what we have here is a file, a text file that has some important information that it wants us to know about, mainly these hashes. And then there's an embedded in signature inside the file. Okay. So first of all, we need to get this release signature or these developer signing keys into our keyring. So how do we do that? We don't do the server thing. We just do import. And we navigate over to the file that we just downloaded. It's in GnuBitcoin. And we just click on that, those release signatures, choose open, and we see they get imported in. So that's just another way of getting the file into our keyring. And this is the one that we are interested in. Now what we need to do is verify this guy. Okay, so I'm going to hold down the Shift key. I'm going to click and choose Open PowerShell window here. We're in Bitcoin, so let's do a dir. All right, so I want to run a GPG verify here. Okay, and I'm going to verify this file right here with the embedded signature. So in this case, I'm going to do a Control-C, and come down here and do a Control-V as in Victor. And I'm just going to verify that file. Now that I have the release signature, it's got an embedded signature inside it. So I don't have two files here. I have one file that wants to be verified that has an embedded signature. So I'm just going to hit enter. And there you go. I've got a good signature from the Bitcoin developer team. As you can see, it matches the name over here. Okay. So anyway, looks like we're okay in that respect. We've got this thing verified. Now that we can now that we've verified it, we can trust it. Let's open this guy up with WordPad again. Now, what we want to cryptographically verify with the SHASUM is the Bitcoin Win64 setup. I know this can get a little. The SHAs are on top. All right, so I found my Win64 setup exe. All right, I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to run the Sha Sum Checker on this installer. So let's just start that guy up. Click Browse. Go over here to GnuBitcoin. And that's the file that we want to generate a SHA for. So when we open it in the Sha Sum Checker, the SHA gets generated, and it says SHA 256. So you can see here it looks very similar to this guy down here. But why eyeball it when we can just paste it in here and choose Verify? And there we go. The SHA 256 matched. Okay. So let me just quickly take you through that process one more time. We have three files that we downloaded. We have this file here that has some secret information that is provided for us. They want us to trust it, so they cryptographically signed it down here at the bottom. Okay. Now we need the release signatures of the developers, which we went and got. This file here, which we imported, Vladimir, and we used that signature Since the signature was in our keyring, we were able to run the verification, which we did in the command line, to verify this file right here. Once we did the verification and we saw that the signature was good, we were able to trust these SHASUMs. So we found the SHASUM that we were interested in, and then we did a Sha Sum check on this installer, and we made sure that the SHASUMs matched. So now we can trust the installer. So that's software verification, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you. I hope you watch my videos and you learn something. I know this is a little difficult, and I've had some comments saying, you know, why do any of this? You know, it's only for math majors and computer geeks. Maybe so, but it is important, and that's why I'm doing these videos, to teach you how to do this. So I hope you enjoy my videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like them. Subscribe to my channel, please. And you've got a little bell next to the subscribe button if you'd like to be alerted whenever I post new videos. Once again, Crypto Dad, thanks for joining me.